Fuel prices up by 5%.
ICC debunks criticisms that it targets Africans.
NPP accuses government of misappropriation of funds.
And Kenya's defense force killed 19 rebels in the south of the country. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to News Hour, coming to you from Broadcasting House here in the capital, Accra. My name is Gifty Eji.
I am Shirley, and Robert Frimpong Manso is our signer for tonight.
Now the stories. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Mrs. Fatou Bensouda, on Thursday denied that the ICC is unfairly targeting Africans whilst ignoring crimes committed by richer and more powerful states. Since its establishment in 2002, the International Criminal Court has heard dozens of cases and indicted many individuals from Africa.
All members of the African Union, with the sole exception of Botswana, expressed their distrust in the institution during the 23rd Annual African Union Summit. Although there are claims that an inherent bias against the continent has caused the ICC to unfairly target Africa, the debate is not so simple.
Instead, factors such as the limitations imposed on the court's jurisdiction, along with the lack of domestic or regional alternatives for prosecuting crimes against humanity, have been the real culprit in the alleged injustice.
On 1st July 2002, the International Criminal Court in The Hague started operations by prosecuting individuals who commit atrocities against civilians in times of war and conflicts. 10 cases are currently being investigated by the court, while a total number of 39 individuals have been indicted by the ICC. They include Ugandan rebel leader Joseph Kony, Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir, and former Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo. Critics have accused the court of being biased because of its supposed interest to only prosecute African leaders. The ICC denies the accusations, saying it stands for victims wherever they may be.
Not only has my office recently been granted authorization to open investigations in Georgia, but we are also seized of other situations that are outside of Africa. We are conducting preliminary examinations in Afghanistan, in Colombia and Ukraine, where we are carefully assessing whether Rome Statute criteria for opening investigations are met.
For 2 days, legal brains from Africa and civil society will deliberate on ways to confront perceptions and clarify issues that promote suspicions and skepticism of the ICC and its work. The chair of the Game Park Council, Dr. Christiana Mwakuniyama, said there is still more work to be done by the ICC in order to build confidence among people.
I urge the ICC to build confidence in its systems and processes in ways that democratically explores its case selection process. I say this knowing how difficult it is to apply the principles of democracy to the judicial process.
The prosecutor of the ICC, Mrs. Fatou Bensouda, said in spite of the many criticisms leveled against the ICC, it will continue to seek justice for all who are violated in times of war and conflict.
In the execution of its legal mandate, the ICC has been guided by nothing but the law and the evidence. My office has and will continue to apply the Rome Statute provisions without fear or favor. And in the court's decisions have been and will continue to be independent, impartial, and fair.
124 countries are signatories to the Rome Statute that founded the International Criminal Court.
President John Mahama has arrived in Glasgow, Scotland, at the start of an official visit, which will include a meeting with the First Minister of the Scottish Parliament, Ghana and Scotland have had years of fruitful political and economic relations, with a number of Scottish oil and gas firms expressing interest in Ghana's new energy sector.
Educational collaboration has also been enhanced lately, with many Ghanaian students enrolling in universities in Dundee, Glasgow and Aberdeen. On Friday, Mr. Mahama will be honoured with an honorary Doctor of Laws degree by the University of Aberdeen, after which he will meet a group of UK business executives before returning home. Africa is home to 17% of the world's forest, yet deforestation on the continent is estimated to be 4 times the global average, and pace keeps accelerating.
Addressing an international conference on creating new forests for Africa, the UN Special Envoy for Climate Change and a former president of Ghana, Mr. John Agyekum Kufuor, said climate change threatens all ecosystems and stressed the need to tackle the negative effects of climate change to save Africa's wildlife and its people.
Today, the farmlands in Ghana, as elsewhere on our continent, are getting far away from the population centers. The rivers are drying up, and the huge trees that were common when I was young are being depleted. Both the public and private sectors must intensify their efforts, as the rate of reforestation is mostly outpaced by the rate of deforestation, owing to still uninformed human activity and also the overarching impact of climate change. Scientific measures, such as the development and use of quick-growing seeds that will ensure early maturation of trees, must be employed, just as nutrients that enrich the soil must also be applied. This also implies the planting of trees that are climate smart and can withstand the devastating effects of climate change. The time for action, I believe, is now. It cannot be delayed. And I see this conference as timely and hope that your deliberations will not only add up to the numerous other conferences taking place everywhere, but will also lead to real action.
The New Patriotic Party is accusing the ruling National Democratic Congress for misappropriating taxpayers' money.
At a news conference in Accra on Thursday, the party's communications director, Nana Komia, pointed to the conduct and position of the government in the Woyomi case, as well as the JIDA, SADA and the Smarties bus branding issues.
Take SADA. Like I said, government officials paid the government's contribution to the private venture. They were not keen to secure the private company's contribution to the capital requirements. As we all know, even the venture, the confirmed venture, there's not a trace of that business. The tree planting that so much money was paid, there's not a trace of that venture. Yet, as we speak, not a single official involved in this SADA arrangement that has caused the taxpayer so much money, not a single official has been charged or punished. And mind you, SADA was directly under the office of the president. Even the Supreme Court case, which led to the Supreme Court ordering that the monies should be retrieved from Mr. Woyomi, that case was prosecuted by a private citizen, Mr. Martin Amidu, not by the government of Ghana. So if it wasn't for Mr. Amidu, even the order that the monies be paid back to the state would not have been secured.
A number of structures at Weja in Accra have been demolished. The structures were built on land belonging to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, but were illegally acquired and taken over by squatters and encroachers. The demolition exercise was meant to serve as a warning to the encroachers to vacate the site or face legal action.
For some time now, new buildings have been developed on the lands belonging to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation in the new Botiano, Weja area. Management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation had earlier visited the site to assess the extent of encroachment. Thursday's demolition exercise was directed at getting the illegal settlers to vacate the property. The demolition exercise was undertaken by the management of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, working in partnership with the Gan South Municipal Assembly. The Gan South Municipal Chief Executive, Jerry Akwe Thompson, promised to do everything within his power to assist GBC get back its land. He also urged GBC to protect its property, since deserting the property for a long time leaves it open for encroachment.
We are ready to assist you, if only you also assist the Assembly, to check these unauthorized developers.
The Director of Human Resource at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. John Korasari, expressed GBC's determination to secure the lands and develop it in the interest of the corporation to generate revenue.
We are going to work closely with the District Assembly. Okay, they, I think, have the prerogative of doing monitoring, making sure that buildings that are put up without permits, okay, are stopped, so to speak. So it's going to be a collaborative effort between GBC and then the District Assembly.
Some of the illegal occupants were served eviction notices.
And still in the capital, 35 organizations, including the media, have undergone a sensitization seminar in Accra on a Star Ghana project designed to ensure transparency, accountability and responsiveness in the November 7 elections. The program was meant to provide an opportunity to clarify expectations before the project commences and to gain a better understanding of Star Ghana's reporting requirements.
35 organizations, including GBC and 9 other media institutions, have been awarded the grants after satisfying independent assessments, budget assessment, as well as due diligence requirements to undertake initiatives and projects on voter education, peace and security, issues-based campaign and manifestos, observation and monitoring of elections, and inclusiveness and participation for the media and other stakeholders. At the orientation workshop, the chair of the steering committee of Star Ghana, Professor Akila Pasoya, urged the organizations to work together in order to achieve the 2016 election objectives.
You are only 35 organizations out of 300, and that is out of thousands. The way to achieve our objectives is for you to work together as far as possible. And that is absolutely critical to the way STAR tries to work. You are a recipient of a grant for which you are accountable, but you are also answerable to the country, to a nation, as part of a collective.
According to the program director of Star Ghana, Mr. Ibrahim Tanko Amidu, the workshop was to make the organizations more effective in their assigned roles.
We are looking at collaboration at a number of levels. The first is that sometimes when organizations get these grants, they behave as if they have the constitutional mandate to conduct the elections. No, they don't. So there's a first level of collaboration with the state agencies, Electoral Commission, the police, the NCCE, to ensure that they are more effective in doing their work.
Star Ghana is a voice and empowerment body which supports civil society to strengthen issues of accountability and responsiveness of the state to citizens.
A retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Justice Dateba, says Ghanaians need to work hard to ensure that the independence of the judiciary is not undermined.
He said financial autonomy is an important element in judicial independence but still requires further work and improvement. Mr. Justice Dateba was speaking at the R.E. Akoto Memorial Lecture organized by the Ghana School of Law in Accra.
The R.E. Memorial Lecture was instituted by the Asantehene Otumfuo Tutu II in April 2006. It is aimed at promoting research, study and educate the citizens on the development of Ghana's constitutional democracy and human rights. This year, the lecture, which had the theme, The Rule of Law, Rethinking Justice Delivery in Ghana's Democratic Development, sought to highlight the influence on the Supreme Court's protection of liberty in Ghana today. It was attended by personalities like the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Justice of the Appeal Court, Justice Sir Dennis Ajay, Justice Dateba, a retired Justice of the Supreme Court, Nana Dr. S.K.B. Asante, Paramount Chief of Asante Asokore, parliamentarians and students of the Ghana School of Law. In his address, Justice Dateba said the case of R.E. Akoto has helped in strengthening constitutionalism and the rule of law in contemporary Ghana.
The current constitutional provisions on independence of the judiciary in Ghana, contained in Chapter 11 of the 1992 Constitution, which are traceable back to the 1969 Constitution, provide a solid basis for the institutional independence of the judiciary.
A justice of the appeals court, Justice Sir Dennis Ajay, said Ghana has made great strides under the 1992 Constitution.
The recent innovations by the courts to develop Ghana's democratic principles, including the enactment of the High Court Civil Procedure Rule CI-47, the High Court Civil Procedure Amendment Rule CI-87, and the District Court Rules CI-59. The High Court rules and the District Court rules have enjoined the courts to interpret and apply the rules to achieve speedy and effective decisions, devoid of delays and unnecessary expense.
The R.E. Akoto Memorial Lecture is the 11th in a series, and as part of the activities lined up for the week celebration, the SRC of the Ghana School of Law will organize a legal outreach at the Makolo Market to educate the traders on the need to insure their lives and businesses, as well as donations at the Accra Psychiatric Hospital in a bid to improve mental health delivery in Ghana. Still live on News Hour on GBC24 and GTV. You have business coming up. Please stay with us.
Hello again, my name is Maurice Ogbete. I bring you latest from the world of business. This package is sponsored by Airtel, NS Chemist and SIC. Now, the bulk oil distributors have reviewed fuel prices upward by 5%. The review will make up for the shortfalls following the increase of price of crude oil on the international market.
According to the chamber, the upward adjustment of the prices of petroleum products is due to the jump of the commodity on the international market. The past couple of weeks have seen oil shot up from $28 per barrel to about $36 a barrel. Per the 5% increase on the Ghanaian market, a litre of super has now moved from 3 cedis 231 Ghana cedis to 3 cedis 383 Ghana cedis per litre. Diesel, which used to be sold at 3 cedis 199, is going for 3 cedis 391 Ghana cedis. However, the price of kerosene has remained the same, selling at 2 cedis 389 Ghana cedis. Mr. Stephen Annan is the supervisor at the Kanda Total Fuel Station.
Formerly, we were selling a PMS 3.279 and now it's 3.383. Ago, it was selling at 3.199 and now it's 3.391.
However, the manager at the Goel Fuel Station at Nima Runabout said Goel have not adjusted its prices upward.
We are selling at 3.2.79 for super per litre. And diesel is 3.199 per litre. So, until further notice, we are selling at the old price. So far, as I'm concerned, according to my head office, Gold
we are selling at the old price.
In the first week of January this year, prices of petroleum products went up by 27%. That was after government introduced the energy sector levy to enable it clear its debts.
Meanwhile, the GPRTU says no transport operator or driver has the right to increase transport fares because of the marginal petroleum price increases. The chairman of the union, Mr. Kuma, says the union has an agreement with the Ministry of Transport which requires negotiations before fares are reviewed. He said any driver who violates the directive would be prosecuted. Now, Ghana and Italy have taken their business relations a step further with the launch of the Ghana chapter of the Italian Business Association. The association, which is open to all companies and individuals, will serve as a platform to boost trading opportunities between the two countries.
Italy-Ghana relations date back pre-independence. It was an Italian consortium, Impregilo, that constructed the Akosombo Dam and other infrastructure in Ghana. Companies like the Semoni Construction, Trazaco, and lately ENI have contributed significantly to the development of Ghana. With a gross domestic product of more than $200 billion, Italy is the fifth manufacturing economy in the world and second in Europe. The European country is also ranked second in the world for business innovation and is the 10th leading exporting nation on the globe, with almost 500 billion euros worth of exports. With this track record, the Italian Business Association seeks to assist Ghanaian companies to grow while promoting business opportunities between the two nations. Launching the association in Accra, the Vice President of the Italian Business Association, IBAG, Ni Ama Olenu, said the association is open to all companies and individuals. The Italian Business Association will also engage in the training of players in specific sectors of the economy. IBAG was registered and incorporated in June 2015.
And still in business, about 330 accountants have been inducted into the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, as the first batch of the 2016 induction course in Accra. Their training will help them keep clean records, provide them with professional confidence, and enhance corporate behavior.
Established by an Act of Parliament, Act 170 in 1963, the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, ICAG, is the sole body responsible for regulating the accountancy profession in Ghana. Its members are the only persons recognized for the audit of companies' accounts. The institute currently runs 3 distinct programs, and a candidate who successfully completes the professional program and acquires a working experience in accountancy as approved by the council qualifies to use the designated letter CA after his or her name, the CA being Chartered Accountant. The 2016 first induction course is aimed at preparing the newly qualified accountants for the job market. The president of the ACAG, Professor Kwame Buesiako Omani Entry, advised that to succeed in the working environment, working hard without compromise and not cutting corners to get rich quick should be their core values. He also advised them to be critical thinkers with strong analytical skills.
Our profession is governed by one word: integrity. And you can stretch integrity to mean several things. The public expectation of professional accountants has widened. We need to breach it. We need to uphold ethical principles that we have gone through, so that we will know that when we are in charge of the affairs of an organization, of a country, there will be a sound practice brought to bear on the job that we do.
A High Court judge, Her Ladyship Justice Efia Sewa Asari Botri, entreated the inductees to advise state institutions on proper financial management.
The need to appropriately channel revenue streams in order to maximize business potential and ensure cost containment, especially in these times of economic difficulties, cannot be overemphasized. You need to be adept at what you do. and prove your mettle. By so doing, you will have the ear of your top management any day.
A representative of the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Patrick Numo, said in Ghana, the introduction of tax reforms has usually been met with some resistance, a major hurdle confronting the country. He said as professional accountants, he believed that positive contributions by the ACAG in ensuring a buoyant economy is crucial.
Suffice it to say that we are all in this ship together, and we need to keep the ship afloat. Austerity measures are therefore necessarily required. Of course, these measures are not pleasant in themselves, but in the long term, government is hopeful that the results will provide sufficient evidence as proof.
The graduating class were advised to live above reproach and to be worthy of emulation as professionals.
Later in the package, we bring you insurance news brought to you by SIC Life. Now, the cedi maintained its value to the US dollar to sell at 3 cedis 84 pesos. The local currency gained 2 pesos to the pound sterling to sell at 5 cedis 42 pesos. It also gained a peso to the euro. You also get latest prices of gold, cocoa, and oil on the international commodities market. Insurance news is brought to you by SIC Life. Now, did you know that funeral policy provides a safety net to families when death occurs? People wonder how claims are paid after the insured passes on without any member of the family knowing of the policy. But insurance companies say they do call the next of kin to make a claim.
Death is about the next person and not me. It could happen to anybody at any time. And that is the reason one needs to make financial provisions in the event that there is death to oneself, spouse, parents, parents-in-law, and even children. It works like magic. Death strikes when you are really broke, and funeral policies will just come to your rescue. Let's assume even your parents or even your own husband could have an insurance policy and might not have told you. And the unfortunate happens, he passes on. The insurance company typically would follow up because we'll discover that premiums are no longer coming. And then we'll follow up and then we'll get to know that this person is no more. And then, based on the information provided on the next of kin, we'll let you know.
And that was insurance news brought to you by SIC Life.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the health segment of the news brought to you by FPAC. Reports of the outbreak of the H5N1 bird flu infection in neighboring West African countries have prompted the emergency meeting of experts in Accra. Their aim is to fashion out ways to control possible H5N1 outbreaks in the country and mitigate the risk of contracting the virus.
Ghana has had some months of respite after recording H5N1 variant of bird flu outbreaks in May and December 2015, which led to the loss of more than 6,000 birds and 9 million Ghana cedis. With the current continuous reports of H5N1 outbreaks in Nigeria, Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso and other West African countries, the National Technical Council for the Emergency Assistance to Control H5N1 Outbreaks project says the country stands at a high risk of H5N1 infection. Some control measures mapped out for the implementation of the project include cleaning and disinfecting of poultry farms, restriction of movement of live birds and poultry products, and the quarantine of infected poultry. Veterinarian and National Coordinator for the Emergency Assistance Project, Dr. Eugene Yelfanib, said the year-long project involves the security services to ensure that stringent biosecurity measures are ensured at the country's borders.
We believe that with the biosecurity knowledge, the spread of the virus can easily be controlled or contained. It's just the ABC or how to keep your farm clean, how to prevent disease objects or disease or infected objects or animals from coming into your farm.
The team will also equip the various veterinaries nationwide with the needed resources and the technical knowledge to handle any possible outbreak.
Now to a rather sad story of love gone sour. A 31-year-old woman, Henrietta Amwa, had her entire face disfigured from an acid attack carried out by her boyfriend. The incident happened while she was in her bath. Henrietta is appealing for financial assistance to enable her undergo plastic surgery. Viewers are warned that the pictures may be disturbing.
It is an expression of pain and despair as she constantly dabbed the fluid dripping from her eyes with cotton wool.
Okay. All is not lost, all right? Everything will come back into the normal state, okay? So don't cry, okay?
Her entire face totally disfigured from an acid attack. Henrietta Amwa narrates her ordeal at the hands of her boyfriend.
He came to me that he learned, they said, I have given the things we are about to do, the engagement and the wedding to a guy. So I should bring the things out. And I said, oh, unfortunately, my mom is not around. The things are with my mom. Because of my young siblings, I decided not to keep it in my bag. So if because of the things, that's why he is here, then I'm sorry. He should go and come back another day. If my mom is around, I was bathing when the guy called me, mentioned my name, Henrietta. Before I realized the acid was on me.
Henrietta has been avoiding showing up in public because she does not want to be seen with her disfigured face. She said her situation has caused her a lot, financially and emotionally.
Before that, I didn't know that the damage has been too much because first, I don't use my hand to touch my face or my head. They didn't allow me to use my hand on my face. So the doctor told me, okay, then I should check something. So when I put my hand on my face and I realized I have a big problem on the face and the head. My mom started going to work like barely 2 weeks now. And because of that too, my dad doesn't go to work again. And because of that too, I don't do anything unless people help me.
Henrietta's father, Stephen Amu, who was at home on the day of the incident, had this to say.
We are begging the general public to come to our aid because the amount is too huge for us. And in fact, we can't bear it. So we are seeking the assistance of the public to come in.
Henrietta says, touched by her plight, an NGO in Switzerland has expressed readiness to help perform plastic surgery freely on her. However, she needs to raise an amount of almost 40,000 cedis for her travel expenses. She is appealing to the public to assist her meet that cost.
I'll plead to the public if I can get help from them to contact any doctor outside the country to do it for me. I'll be very happy, because right now the amount they are saying they are going to take is almost 400 million.
Months after the incident, there are still visible traces of acid corrosion on the floor of the bathroom where the attack took place. Henrietta's boyfriend is on the run. Soyoko Kwakutre, GBC24, Accra.
And on that sad note, we wrap up on the health segment, which is brought to you by FPAC. Stay tuned.
Welcome back now to some international news. Kenya's armed forces and local authorities say 30 insurgents in Somalia's Al-Shabaab jihadist group have been killed in heavy clashes in the south and northeast of the country. In the first incident, the Kenya Defense Force said it had launched an assault on a military camp in southern Somalia, killing 19 rebels and seizing a haul of weapons. Kenyan troops operating under the African Union mission to Somalia foiled a planned attack near the camp operated by the Somali National Army and AMISOM.
Morocco has threatened to pull its soldiers out of UN global peacekeeping missions in a row over the disputed territory of Western Sahara. It is furious with UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon after he said the term occupation about the territory, which was annexed by Morocco in 1975. Mr. Ban has criticized Morocco for its angry response to his comment and said the protest has shown disrespect to both him and the UN. Morocco currently contributes more than 2,300 soldiers and police to UN peacekeeping missions, mainly in Mali, Ivory Coast, the Central African Republic, and Burundi. Coming up is sports.
Evening by kindness of Ejapias, Tornado Betters, and Lunat. Let's talk sports. I'm Theophilus Sampa. A new date has been set for the start of the National Women's Football League. Instead of 19th of March this year, the league will kick off on the 16th of April. The change in date has been due to challenges facing some teams, including adapting to the new registration process. The National Women's Football League was originally scheduled to start from the 19th and 20th of March this year. For the first time, teams must register using the biometric registration system, which out of 16 qualified teams, only 4 have so far finished with their process. This development has forced the Women's League Board to shift the date of the launching as well as the start of the league forward. The new date is now 16th and the 17th of April this year. 16 teams will be participating in the league, but due to financial challenges, the league have been zoned into 2, the northern and the southern sectors. The teams that will battle for the trophy at stake are as follows. Defending champions are Zakes Ladies, Soccer Intellectuals, Lady Strikers, Police Ladies, Immigration Ladies, Bafana Ladies, Halifax Ladies, and Samaria Ladies for the southern sector. The northern sector has Ampemdakwa Ladies, Prison Ladies, Fabulous Ladies, Ashtown Ladies, Lepo Ladies, Northern Ladies, Real Upper Ladies, and Sabayo Golden Ladies. Hazakes Ladies from 2nd D have won all the 3 previous editions of the competition. The Professional Footballers Association of Ghana will on Monday launch the long-awaited insurance package for footballers and a welfare fund dubbed Life After Football Fund. This is the first of its kind in the country, and it is set to alleviate the challenges that face footballers when their careers come to an end. The package covers accidental death, critical illness, and general accidents suffered by a player on the field of play. Let's talk athletics now, where the second edition of the highly acclaimed International Millennium Marathon will commence its preparatory regional marathons in Tamale this weekend. Announcing the dates for the regional event, the managing partner of the Millennium Sports Company, Ashe Morton, said $50,000 is at stake for the ultimate winner, with 2 brand new Peugeot cars solely reserved for Ghanaian winners.
The dates for the regional marathon this year, starting from the northern region and the upper west region this Saturday, is the 19th of March. So we're having 2 marathons on the same day in Tamale and in Wa. And then for the Brong-Ahafo region is on the 9th of April. On the 23rd of April, we shall do 2 marathons, western region and the eastern region. And then on the 14th of May, we shall do Ashanti region. We shall do the marathon in the central region on the 21st of May. On the 28th of May, we shall do the Volta region. The 4th of June, we shall do the Upper East region. And on the 11th of June, we shall do the Greater Accra region. The theme for this year's marathon is African on the Run. We're running for health and peace. You know, this year is an election year. So we want to encourage all Ghanaians to cool down their tempers. We want to do this marathon in anticipation for the elections, yes. We have cash prizes for the first 10 men and the first 10 women. And again, all of them will be participating for the vehicles that we're going to provide in September. For the Elite 21K Marathon, we have $50,000 as the first prize, and it cascades down to $7,500. It's good for Ghana in many ways, apart from for tourism, economic benefits, health. Indeed, the more people who participate in this marathon, you find yourself not going to the hospital as many times as you thought you would do in a year. So it cuts down in medical bills for yourself and your family, and indeed for the nation. So it's a good initiative for all of us.
In the US of A, Cleveland Cavaliers improved to 48 home wins with a 99-98 victory over the Dallas Mavericks last night. Star point guard Kyrie Irving scored 33 points to help the Cavs, who are without LeBron James. That's all for sports.
Hello, good evening. Time for some arts news. My name is Valai Danso. Osibisa, the Afro-Caribbean band, was founded in London in 1969 by 4 expatriate African and 3 Caribbean musicians. Their music is a fusion of African, Caribbean jazz, funk, rock, Latin, and R&B. Osibisa was one of the first African heritage bands to become widely popular on the international stage. As with many Ghanaian dishes, there are various ways of preparing apapransa. Apapransa is often made from leftover palm nut soup and is normally eaten on special occasions. It goes well with crabs, beans, and fish, and is satisfyingly dense and delicious. That's it for this segment. Have a good evening.
That's it for news. Our news tonight is at 10:30. Please stay with us.
Thank you for watching. Good evening.